CCUK Live, the only show where we meet the artists behind the gloves. Sponsored by apexresin.co.uk, use the discount code CCUK to get money off. I'm here with another exciting episode of CCUK Lives. Join me as I chat with some very special guests. We'll be talking all things resin, art, and everything in between. So grab your resin, your gloves, and your art, and let's get creative. As you can see, I'm not alone in this little corner of the internet. I have some amazing co-hosts who are here to share their talent and expertise with us. And let me tell you, they're not just experts, they're also incredibly funny and entertaining. So you're in for a night of non-stop resin fun. But wait, there's more. You'll also have the chance to ask your favorite resin artists anything live. That's right, we're going live and you can interact with us in real time. So don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Join us on CCUK Resin, where we're bringing you the best in resin art and entertainment. It's the perfect place to relax, unwind, and let your creativity flow. So grab your supplies, sit back, and enjoy the show. We all grow together. CCUK Live, the only show where we meet the artists behind the gloves. Sponsored by apexresin.co.uk, use the discount code CCUK to get money off. I'm here with another exciting episode of CCUK Lives. Join me as I chat with some very special guests. We'll be talking all things resin, art, and everything in between. So grab your resin, your gloves, and your art, and let's get creative. As you can see, I'm not alone in this little corner of the internet. I have some amazing co-hosts who are here to share their talent and expertise with us. And let me tell you, they're not just experts, they're also incredibly funny and entertaining. So you're in for a night of non-stop resin fun. But wait, there's more. You'll also have the chance to ask your favorite resin artists anything live. That's right, we're going live and you can interact with us in real time. So don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Join us on CCUK Resin, where we're bringing you the best in resin art and entertainment. It's the perfect place to relax, unwind, and let your creativity flow. So grab your supplies, sit back, and enjoy the show. We all grow together.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. And I'm excited. You know what? If this is your first time with us as well, welcome. If you're a regular viewer to the CCUK Lives, welcome. And some of you may have noticed a few changes. So, first of all, in that top corner, we don't have the StreamYard logo anymore. We have the CCUK Resin Live logo, sponsored by Apex Resin. So that's a big announcement for these lives. We've now got a sponsor, which is Apex, and I just want to say massive thank you to them. And tonight, it's all about a very special resin artist, which most of us know from the Discord. And ladies, you're going to have two gentlemen on the screen tonight because we've got Butch from Butch's Resin Creations with us tonight, and I'm excited. Oh, so it's that corner, it said. All right, thanks, Amy. The chat is also appearing in very small writing on the screen, so I'm probably still going to highlight the chat as it happens so that we can actually read it. But don't forget, any questions for Butch, make sure you put them in caps lock and we'll get through them in order. I've got one of my lovely mods, Lisa, checking the questions and sending to magically on another screen. So before we go any further, let's just welcome Butch and let's get any of those questions going, but let's hear more about his journey. So without further ado, hi, Butch.
Boy, I don't know if I can handle all that.
I don't know if I can handle all that, Butch.
Yeah, that big video in the beginning was kind of interesting. Wouldn't call myself an expert, but you know,
I did that at 5 o'clock this morning.
Oh well, hey, at least you were functioning at 5 o'clock. I wasn't.
Yeah, it's not perfect yet. I need to do some editing with it, but it's just as we've upgraded the lives now. Thanks to finding a sponsor, I can do more things with it, which hopefully will help us grow, all of us.
Cool.
So yeah, this is now, it should be being streamed to YouTube at the minute, Instagram, and Facebook at the moment. So we should start to get more people in these lives. And if anyone's watching from those other platforms and not YouTube, let me know in chat. It'd be interesting to know. And it should have been TikTok as well, but I tested it earlier on my drive back from the office home, and I was having a cigarette in the car, and you're not allowed to smoke on a TikTok live, and it banned me for 24 hours.
Oh no, I saw that post and I thought, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, so next week we should be on TikTok as well. So we're getting quite a few coming in as well. I've seen quite a few of the regulars. We've got Claire, we've got Ania, we've got Lisa, we've got Lula, we've got Mitch. We've got loads of people coming in for this. So I think there's lots of people excited to hear more about your story, Butch. And I know we've all seen some of your videos, and I think they're amazing, by the way. I think you're a real artist. So firstly, I just want to say that. But tell us more about your story. Tell us more about you. What started you in resin? Give your channel a shout out, and let's start there.
Well, my name's Butch, and I'm Butch's Resin Creations. I started about a year ago. I watched YouTube. I like the music on YouTube, so I was watching music on YouTube videos and stuff, and I ran across this Anna Dombrowski Finnebear on YouTube, and she was pouring skull molds, which kind of looked really interesting. So I thought I need to try this myself because I like skulls and dragons and all that kind of good stuff. So I kept watching her, and that's kind of where I have most of my inspiration is from her and other mixed media artists. So and like I said, it's just it's a slow process right now for me. I work almost 12 hours a day, so I don't get a chance to do as much as I'd like to, which is I'm going to try to change that. But that's life right now, and so.
But that is life, We said before this live actually is life is sometimes gets in the way of resin art. Sometimes it's a great help in sort of dealing with issues and forgetting about life and everything that's going off. But sometimes life is more important, and it's very difficult. If you don't do the videos, you don't realize how much time they take as well. 30-minute video could be 3 hours, couldn't it? So
like I said, I've taken an unexpected long break that I wasn't planning on. And but again, it's just so I'm trying to get back started again. It's like I haven't done any videos before, so I'm kind of getting back to that nervous stage again. It's just you got to do one to get started again. So but I'm going to give it a shot. And like I said, I appreciate everybody out there that's hung in there with me. And I try to do a short every once in a while, but not as often as I can. But again, I just want to thank everybody for hanging in there, and I'm going to do better this time.
No, well, again, you're starting off with a live, so that's great. You're getting in front of the camera. We don't just see the gloves anymore. So hopefully we get to know the real Butch. But Steph in comments is just saying she wants to say you're awesome. So
I appreciate that, Stephanie. I saw that. And that's like I said, I have gotten so much help from all these people that I've met on Discord, and I met April with Dragons and Dresses, and she came to my house in June of last year, and that was just an amazing experience. I've met, like I said, Lula, all the people. My brain is not as Gert would say, my brain's not braining right now.
We all get that, don't worry.
So,
But no, Annie is saying your accent rocks as well. So they're obviously preferring the American accent to the British one at the moment.
Well, yeah, I'm from Texas. I'm originally from Texas, so my Southern accent kind of sneaks in there. I don't like it, but people say it's really nice and really interesting and different, so I go with it.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things I've loved about doing these lives as well, is getting to know everybody from around the world and all the different accents. I think they're amazing.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's I don't watch my own videos, if you can believe that. If I edit them, I just kind of go through them. I don't really try to listen to them because, like I said, I don't like the way I talk. But
Right.
but people tell me it's soothing and it's interesting, and so we go with it.
I think that's the same for most of us, though. Most of us don't like our own voice. I hate editing videos because I have to listen back to my own voice, and I'm like, oh no. But some people say they like it, and it's just one of those things. I don't think any of us ever like our own voice.
Mm-mm.
Tim's just saying his brain doesn't brain most of the time.
Well, mine doesn't. A lot of times mine doesn't. If I get under pressure, sometimes it kind of wants to go south on me, or I get really nervous. And so, but most of the time it's all right.
So talk to me about your first piece then, when you got into resin. What did you do? Did you go out and buy a kit, or what did you do when you got into it?
Actually, I had started buying some resin, and I bought my a dragon mold, the first dragon mold. And believe it or not, I'd have to find it here in a minute. I didn't do something small. My first video was not small. It was a huge, like 9x12 piece.
Wow.
And so I since have given it to somebody, and I could not tell you who I gave it to. I think I gave it to April, as a matter of fact. But like I said, I don't do anything small, or I try not to do anything small. Sometimes I think I'm gonna have to try to do something small now, just because I'm running out of large things.
I like doing small things and then putting them in bigger things.
Well, that's true too, and that's kind of how some of this stuff is. It starts out real small and then it gets bigger, and so you just have to.
Stormy and Dark saying that she loves your style as well, little similar to hers. And he's asking, well, I was going to ask this later on, but if you've got questions early, let's start them early. Let's go a bit different. So Stormy and Dark's asking, what's your best piece that you've made?
Well, I actually, the big piece that I made, I actually gave it to my nephew. He's has stage 4 cancer right now, and he came visited, and I gave it to him. But if this is dry, I just finished this.
Wow, that is a big piece.
And this was similar to what I did the first time, except it was on a round canvas, and it was more focused on the skull and whatever. So, but this is back in May, I think April had a collaboration. Spring is Dead. Well, that's my Spring is Dead project.
Okay.
It's a couple of months late, but hey, but I finally finished it. So
I've mucked up the order of the questions already, so I'm getting told off on this screen by Lisa. So we did have a question from Laura first, which I need to go with. What part of Texas are you from?
Dallas, Fort Worth.
There we go. Amy's saying that you're from Texas, so there's nothing small for you. I've heard Texans like things large.
Yeah, well, we'll go with that.
So, talk to me about that first pour. Then, did it go to plan?
The pour really didn't, because the mold that I use, that particular mold, is not really stable, so you have to brace it up in certain places, and so it was leaking all over the place, and so I was panicking as I usually do. But once I got it settled and everything, nothing that I plan ever really works out right.
Okay.
The end project is never what I really plan on it to be, because I've learned, try not to do something, just let it flow, because most artists, I found out that you just start, and it will, as you do each color or each part of it, it will progress. And so the art hopefully will take you on that journey through it. So it's not much thinking per se. It's just letting it flow.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And some of my best pieces, I've had a plan in mind, then I've started it, and I've changed that plan 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, well, like I said, the plan either you change it or it doesn't go like you want it to. I've had several pieces that in the middle of the filming I'd want to stand it up to try to make some stuff paint run and stuff like that. Well, the whole project fell off the thing, and I think I left it in that video, but so nothing ever goes as you plan. So I've just decided that, you know, I've got a theme in mind of what I want to do, and I've kind of laid it out beforehand. But then after that, it's like you said, it's up to the resin gods to finish it.
Definitely. And I mean, this week in particular, this past 2 weeks. So I agreed to do, I don't know if you saw it, but Mary from Resin Me Up, she did an auction to try and raise money for her granddaughter, Riley, to go to the twirling finals. And I donated some pieces. And 2 of those were custom pieces. Well, they could send me whatever colors they wanted, and I would make them a balloon coaster. So the first one came out first time, which was that one, which came out stunning.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
So I thought, oh, this is going to be pretty straightforward. And the second one, where there was a custom order, literally, she told me the colors, and it took 4 attempts. So that was number 1. I wasn't happy. It was a bit heavy in the center.
Yeah.
Then we got to number 2, which I don't know what happened with that one.
Yeah, well, you know, like you said, the resin gods are.
Number 3, again, I didn't like it. But if you keep going, it finally works the way you want.
Yep, there you go.
And I got there in the end. So yeah. I think it just shows that with resin, you've got to realize you won't always get it right. And no matter how many times you do something, it will go wrong. And there's a video I haven't published yet, but literally I spilt resin all over my worktop, and I was like, oh, I'm leaving it in. People can see real resin as it happens.
Yeah. Like I said, and I throw stuff away. I most of the time I don't try to save it unless I'm more than halfway into it. I will just soon start it over again and work through it, because sometimes it gets you, it plays with your mind. So, you know, I would just soon start over fresh. And, you know,
part of the fun for me is, you know, those fails is figuring out a way to try and rescue them sometimes. So yeah. I haven't done a video on this yet, and I haven't even started yet, but Lula from Nerd Goblin Art, she's an amazing painter. And I thought, you know what? Some of these resin pieces that haven't turned out quite right, like this, there's no reason why I couldn't paint over them and then put another layer of resin and see what that came out like. But I don't know. That's just my mind working again. But I'm a bit like you. I'll get an idea, and I can't stop until it's done.
Well, you know, I take that to a whole different area or whatever, because most of the times I will pour my like that skull, I will pour it in black or white. Yeah. And then I will heavy gesso it. And that way I can use acrylic paints. I can use, I love waxes. So, you know, so I end up hand painting my pieces as I go along, instead of like coloring them with mica powders and that way. So that way I have more control over the colors, and then I can control the colors where they go. So,
yeah. Makes sense though. There's so much you can do with resin, and it doesn't have to just finish at the block of resin.
Yeah. And that's what I love about resins. Like I said, I can take my acrylic painting skills, you know, and use the acrylic paint on the resin too.
Yeah. Lula's asking, what would you describe your style as well?
Well, the dark side.
Okay.
I don't know. I really hadn't really thought what kind of style it is. It just seems like I've never thought I had a dark side, but everybody that looks at them goes, yeah, you've got a real definite dark side. And I've tried to do lighter stuff, but it just doesn't work out sometimes. So I'd go Gothic.
Well, do you know what? I love parts of Gothic. I wouldn't say it means I've got a dark side. I love the art of it. And I think I love dragons, love skulls, things like that. And I think it's the artistic visualization of them. And don't get me wrong, I love some other things like blooms, which aren't particularly gothic. I just love the technique that happens in resin. And I think that's where I love watching other artists like yourself, who does mainly gothic style, and that can give me inspiration on if I want to do a gothic piece.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, and I'm gonna wander off into some blooms. I'm gonna give it a try, and you know, I'm gonna try to do some other things too. So we're gonna see where this journey takes me.
No, I'm excited for you. Genuinely, I'm so glad that you've started again after that break, because I think the biggest piece of advice I can give anyone on YouTube is, even if you can only commit to one video a month, stay consistent with that. If it's 2 videos a month, stay consistent with 2. And I get life gets in the way, 100%. And it has done for me in the past. But I think that's where you start to see real traction is, let's say it was 1 a week, 1 video, and it could even be 1 short a week. By doing that, you get more views, which means more subscribers, I've found.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't done, I was going to put a short out on that spring piece, because I didn't do the video like I wanted to. It was just kind of, like I said, I'm still kind of that hem-hawing stage or whatever, kind of nervous to put myself back out there again, but I know I have to. So I'm going to do a short on it, and just kind of, you know, I'm going to ease back into it, but I'll be there.
Well, as I say, I'm really glad that you're back in it. And I've had a few people that were excited when they heard you was coming on a live, because they love the videos that you've done. They love your style. And I think they've missed it, to be fair. I don't think there's a channel that's necessarily dedicated to it that's very active anymore. Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm finding out too, is, you know, mixed media is so precise and so different, and it's hard to, you know, to grasp it, I guess. So, you know, but I enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoy it, and for right now, I think that's what I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna venture off into other things, but right now I'm gonna do this.
Steph saying, "Don't be nervous. You've got people who love you." Well, yeah, which is nice.
I know. Yeah, like I said, I have met some amazing people, and I'm just blessed beyond belief.
Oh, thanks for that, Dancing in the Rain. Appreciate that. Apex are on board now, and it's amazing to have them on board as a sponsor of the channel. And as you can see, there's been a bit of a rebrand, and let me know what you think in the chat as well. I'd be interested to know. But I'm hoping what we can do is a lot more with it. The more we grow, the more we can help each other out. So just as a bit of another announcement, if you don't mind, Butch, not to steal away.
Yeah, it seems like I'm the guinea pig tonight. So
yes, sorry about that.
Run with whatever you want to do with. Yes. Sir.
So just to let everybody know, these lives, I've had an idea to get more views on these lives to help us all grow. So just so you all know, I think I've mentioned this before, but I've been busy every free minute of my time, as well as catching up on my own videos for the channel, setting up another channel where these lives are going to be edited into more of a podcast format, because podcasts are getting more popular at the minute and there's not enough of them, basically, is what YouTube's saying. So there's going to be a resin channel called Resin Ungloved. And that is just going to be these lives re-edited into a podcast version. So hopefully we'll draw people that love podcasts into the resin community and help it grow. And then we should all get more views.
Wow. Yeah, that would be exciting. Really would.
A lot more editing. So I've only done 2 of them so far, and each one took me 4 hours.
Wow.
So
yeah, I'm sure that I don't do that much editing, but I know it can be kind of interesting sometimes.
But I love it. I do enjoy doing it. But there's some videos where, I mean, I've just finished editing one that goes live in about 3 weeks. Literally nothing worked. So the camera stopped halfway through, and I'm like, how am I going to fix this? Then the microphone went, and then I fixed the microphone, put the microphone, sorted all of that out. Then when I uploaded it to the computer, file was corrupted, and I'm like, what is going off? And this one, I think it was a 20-minute video, took me about 4 hours.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. The shorter the video, the longer it takes to edit.
Yeah, but it is fun, you know. You've got to enjoy it, or you don't. No point having a YouTube channel, you know, unless you've got lots of money to throw at an editor.
Yeah, no, who does?
So your channel then, where you are now, what do you hope to do with it, Butch?
Well,
Have you got any goals or milestones that you want to reach?
Right now I'm trying to get started again. You know, kind of like I was thinking like 250, 500. You know, I'm amazed at what I've got so far, to be honest with you. For as few videos that I've got out there, I'm just amazed at what I've got. So I'm very happy about that. So, you know, like I said, I'm just trying to get out there. I want it to grow. I'd love to be able to do this full time, because that would just be amazing.
Yeah, I think we both spoke about it before we went live, actually, and I think that's a dream that many of us have, is to one day be able to do this full time, and see what we could do with all of that time, and how many more projects we could do.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes more time is not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, true. As long as it's busy time, though, I find it's okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, as long as it's busy, yeah. But I prefer, you know, I want to be busy, but I also don't want it to become a job. You know,
yeah.
I want to be able to do it, because once it becomes a job, it's not fun anymore.
You've got to enjoy it. You're right, and I think if it becomes a chore, that's when it's a problem.
Yeah.
So Lula's asking as well, what would you love to try that you haven't tried?
Well, like I said, I'd really, like I said, the blooms. I love making jewelry. I used to make jewelry, earrings and things like that. So I'm gonna venture off into some jewelry. Paint pouring. No, I'm not too much into the paint pouring. I have you know, like I said with the waste. I just think paint pouring is a waste.
I do think it's some of the techniques they come out with are good, though. What I've done before is I've tried the paint pouring techniques in resin, so I'm mixing the two again and just seeing what happens. But Petra in chat as well, hi Petra, is saying she doesn't know the name of your channel. Where can she find it? So perfect opportunity for you to give it a shout out.
It's Butch's Resin Creations, and it's there now. I think it's BUTCHS, not apostrophe S. Yeah, I'm not sure that they put apostrophes in, so you should be able to find it. Hopefully, if not, I'll try to, you know, I'll put something out there. And
when I did my research earlier, I did Butch's Resin Creations, and it was the first one that came up. So hopefully people can find you like that. But if not, if one of the mods can you just nip into YouTube and put a link in the chat for Butch's Resin Creations as well, and then we can share it as well.
Okay.
Johnny's saying that he'd love to see the dark style of jewelry that you'd create.
Me too, Johnny. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and you're amazing too. I've started watching Johnny a lot, and he's another good.
I think he's got a bit of a dark side in some of his videos. Actually,
he's got a dark side too. So
have you? I mean, at the minute, I think when I looked at your channel, I think you've got 29 videos. I think it was out there at the minute. And you are getting views on them, which is amazing, but you've only got 112 subscribers, I think it was when I looked.
Yeah, 112, 100, maybe 115. It flows and ebbs, and I'm still trying to figure out where it is. You know, because like I said, one day I'll have 115, and the next day I'll have 112, and I know people, you know, come and go, but it's just kind of, I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with what I'm doing right now and what I've got. So I try not to focus on the numbers right now.
Well, interesting. I was having a chat with Lisa earlier on about that. And I think that can be the really tough part with YouTube as well. Sometimes you get obsessed with your own analytics, and it's good to take a step away from it and maybe check them once a day, maybe once a week, and just see if they're going in the right direction. But I know there's people out there who, once they've started, they're literally checking on every video how many views it's got, and I think it can become a bit of a compulsive obsession sometimes. And I have to stop myself sometimes from going on analytics. I'll look at it once a day now. That's it.
I don't think I just don't want to be to where the numbers are what drives what I do. I just want to have fun doing it. If I get people or subscribers, I will. If I don't, then I'm not, I just want to make sure it's going in the right direction, but I'm not going to, I don't think I've checked mine in probably a week or so.
Yeah. I'm just having a look. Amy, I've missed a message from Amy apparently, so I'm going to go back. Otherwise, I will get told off. Shameless plug. Butch, we try to do it, and she'll wear it apparently. So there you go.
Oh, wow, I'll definitely keep you in mind, Amy. Y'all are gonna get me started on this sooner than I had probably anticipated, because I'll be honest, I'm amazed at the response I'm seeing on here, and it's just making me kind of feel really good right now.
Yeah, no, good. And I think, you know what? That's the best thing for me about Resin. It's the community. They are amazing. 99% of the people out there are all supporting each other, helping each other grow. And I think that's what keeps me motivated. If I'm having a tough day, I'll jump in one of the Discords or things like that. And there's always people there to support each other, and I think it's great.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just, like I said, I'm just amazed. And Nikki jumped. I could literally die listening to you. Okay. Well,
I think that's a good thing from Nikki. That's a compliment.
I love Nikki. I love her channel. They're funny. And if I ever need a laugh, I'll just go over there and kind of watch some of their videos, because they're really funny. But like I said, guys, I appreciate everything that y'all said, and I hope to live up to what all that you say, that y'all are saying about me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more though. Nikki and Kirk's commentary. If I'm in a bad mood, I'll put one of their videos on and I can't stop smiling. It just makes me smile. And that's, again, one of the great things. Every channel that I watch on YouTube is completely different. And I think I'll be in a mood for technical videos, Daniel Cooper and things like that sometimes. Other times, I need a cheer me up video. So I might go to Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner. I might go to Nikki, Curtis Creations, but you get to know the characters, and sometimes it can just lift you up if you're in having a bad day.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think they're all saying that Nikki has to leave now because you've said that you're a fan, but there we go. No, she's more than welcome to stay. Everybody's welcome in these lives. Have I missed one of Lula's questions? Oh, yes, I have. Sorry, Lula. I don't know what I'm doing today, but Lula also asked, what's your favorite medium to play with?
Well, I like I said, the resin. I haven't done UV yet. I want to try that. Like I said, it's just there's not many things I don't like to do. I just haven't. I try not to go down a whole bunch of rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Because I tend to, with the mixed media and some of the resin will lead you off into whole different areas that I want to try, but if I do, then I'm going to lose something in the process. So I try not to go down too many rabbit holes right now.
Okay. So talk to me about, is there obviously you mentioned that you might try a bloom or something like that. Is there any other techniques that you've seen out there that you just think, wow, and you haven't tried yet?
I've seen, there's a couple of Daniel Coopers that I want to try. I couldn't tell you what they are right offhand. But
so like the Petri.
Yeah, I want to do the Petri thing. I've seen several people do them, and they're they made them easier, I guess. I don't know if it's easier that way, but but I want to do the Petri. Like I said, I'm not sure. I'm going to try as much as I can, but right now I'm trying to stay focused on what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, no, which is the thing. And do your art your way. Everybody's got their own style. And I think that's one of the great things. You could just throw a load of resin in a coaster and let it do its thing, and it would still be art. It would be your art that nobody else would have, because it's the way you throw it all in that makes it the art.
And I like doing the decals. Or I've started printing vinyl stickers, and I put them on resin. I made a coaster, sets of Miss Dolly.
Oh wow! Okay,
on a resin coaster. So I've tried different things like this, and so then I did my logo on a coaster.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So so I like doing the stickers and the decals and things like that.
Butch, apparently you need to do some mindfulness videos to get everybody off to sleep if they're struggling. I think that means you've got a very soothing voice.
Evidently, well, that's what they tell me. Is like they've asked, why don't I read books and stuff? Because they say I have a soothing voice, and I'm like, I don't see that. But hey, but I could, I'd do that.
That could be another channel.
Yeah, there you go.
Butch's audio book. I like it.
I don't know how mindless that they would have to have it, but
But I think it's amazing where people get the different inspiration from as well. And it was like a few weeks ago, I had somebody on who, Callie from Wildflower Preservation. I don't know if you saw that. And she makes these giant preserved flowers. And I know Tim, Bakes Resonate, is very much into preserved flowers.
Yeah.
And I looked in my garden the other week, and it was full of weeds, basically. And I thought, now they are weeds, but weeds are just flowers to me. And I thought, it's free materials. So I had my first attempt at one of these giant resin arches made full of weeds.
I saw that, and I like that. I want to try. I'd like to try something like that too, because I like the Funko Pop dolls.
Yeah.
I want to put some of these in like the arch or a pyramid, or something along that line. So I've like these, and so I my brain overthinks things sometimes. So it's not, I don't have lack of ideas, just lack of time.
There you go. Nikki collects Funky Pops as well.
Really? Oh,
you'll have to do a collab.
I'm going to have to. Here's one of my Dolly Funko Pops.
Wow. Is that going to be Dolly Parton style?
Well, this is they put out she put out 2 or 3 Funko Pop dolls.
Okay.
But I've seen them, and I want to, like I said, I want to put one in like a pyramid, or find some kind of unique design or something. And so I want to put some of these in resin.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It would be cool, actually. It'd take a lot of resin. My advice would be to use some deep pour or deep pour resin.
Yeah. Do the deep pour resin.
And I'll tell you what, the problem I have with deep pour, it takes 2 days to cure. And I've got such a tiny workspace that I always move it after day 1, and then you sort of carry in the mold like that, so the resin doesn't tip out. But I need to learn to be patient, I think.
I've only poured 1 deep pour, and I tried to pour it away from my desk, somewhere that I knew I wasn't going to have to move it, because, like I said, I'm like you. I have a small work area, and it's for somebody that doesn't have a whole lot of stuff. I got a whole lot of stuff.
Well, I'll show you what I've done, actually. I'll give everyone a bit of a tour. So I thought to myself, I'm going to want to do more projects at once. And I hope you can see these were actually a shoe rack. So they were actually a plastic shoe rack. But they work really well for curing your resin in. And I've got some pieces that are just curing. And now I've got 12 different stations that I can cure things in, just stacked.
Yeah, because right now I just cover mine with whatever I can find to cover it up with, so it doesn't get, but that's kind of a nice idea.
Yeah, but that was literally, it's a shoe rack from Amazon, and it was 20 pounds. Yeah. So it wasn't overly expensive, and you get 4 separate units, but that way it keeps the dust out, and it's all plastic. So if you spill some resin, you can wipe it off.
Yeah, wipe it out. Yep. Let's see. Hang on, man. I'll be right back. I'm going to... I just happened to my Christmas dragon.
Wow, that's huge.
This is this dragon I did the first time, but I did it in oranges and golds, and it was a Christmas in July, I think it was. But that was my dragon, and then I did this phoenix that everybody's doing.
Oh, well, you mean that one on the summer wall? Yeah, I love that phoenix mold.
I do too, and I've got several. I mean, I saw you, or I don't remember who did it, but all they did was they just poured mica powder in, just splattered mica powder all over it.
Yeah,
and then burnished it in, and I want to do something like that with that phoenix.
Yeah, I think it was the Tiny Turner powders that I used in might have been mine, because I used Tiny Turner powders in it, and then just burnished them in, and it gave me the and then I just attached it to one of the canvas pours that you don't like. We've already gone through that, but I just attached it with some glue.
That's really pretty. I like that.
And the whole reason I got the mold is this canvas, to me, it came out like a phoenix, the way it looked, and I could almost see a phoenix in it. Yeah, so then that's why I got the mold, added those Tiny Turner powders.
Like I said, that was amazing. I love that one.
So I'll leave it there for now, so you don't get to see my backside whilst I'm putting it back on the wall. But yeah, I think do you know what? It's amazing when you can just get one mold. You can do it 20 different ways, and that's the other thing. There's so many different things we can do.
Yeah, no, that's what I like about resin is you can take something that looks basic, and then you can stretch it into 4 or 5 different things, or just how you lay it out.
Yeah. Jacob's asking as well, what that dragon, was it on a board or a canvas or something?
It's actually on it's a canvas, but it's not a real hard board. It's more like a paper board. But I use a MDF, and I don't, the stretch canvas kind of caves in the middle, so I really don't like to use that, but they have canvas boards that are just whole pieces. Yeah, and I prefer those.
Luna's saying she loves that you dress up your pieces, so you basically put them in an evening suit. Apparently,
I want my stuff to shine and be as good as I can. Now, my signature, what I like to say is, if I do a dragon, I'll put a skull on it, and if I do a skull, I'll put a dragon on it.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what I've it's like the end part that's me and how I so I'll put one or the other on a corner piece or something like that to just to make it mine.
Amy's asking as well, do you sell your pieces?
I can. I have sold several pieces. So yeah, just write me and I'll give you a good deal. Or if there's something special that you want, I'll be more than happy to try to do something for you.
There you go, Amy. So you can not only model his jewelry, you can buy it as well.
yeah. That's when I start doing it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you've got Amy as your model as well, that might get you a few sales as well. Who knows?
I was fixing to say, yeah, with the right kind of person.
Yeah. Tim's saying on canvases as well, to keep them from caving, put foam inserts underneath. He's found that to be useful.
I never really thought about that, but that does sound kind of, because I got all kinds of floral foam around here. So, that would be, thank you, Tim. That sounds a whole lot better, because like I said, it caves, in the center, and once it caves, it's hard to put it back again. So,
well, when I do mine, I just cut out a strong piece of cardboard in a box, and I put that, cut it to the same size as the canvas, basically, without the wooden frame, and I push that on the inside, and that just firms it up. Then I'll spray it with water, and then just let it dry naturally, and then it tends to sort of refirm itself up.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm learning something today too.
Yeah. Petra's saying always pour a thin layer of resin on the back of the canvas. That makes sense as well.
Makes sense. Yeah, I never really thought about all these good ideas. I might, y'all are going to get me going.
Tim, you're the flower master. What do you think to this piece? I think I put far too many in. That's what I want to know. It was just the first one. Do you know what? The great thing is, though, that can go on my mantelpiece. And in winter, when you don't get to see a single flower, I can look at this and go, I can remember those weeds from spring.
Yeah. Well, you know, they say less is more is less. That's more apt to the person that you're doing or that you are, is like, you think that's too many. Well, to me, it's probably not, you know, but
yeah.
So it's kind of like, and I tend to push the limit on my stuff. I have a hard time saying no.
Yeah.
Or stop. I can't say stop. I will always keep going until I either screw it up or I just run out of things to do with it.
Well, with me, it's like I'll get a new set of pigments or mica powders or alcohol inks, and I'll try and use them all in one piece because I can't decide which one I want to play with first. Yeah. So I'll try and figure out a way to have all of them in one piece, which some people hate. But I quite like it just to see what happens.
See, I'm learning that with the mixed media, you can do as much or as little as you can. And I get to the point where I think I'm trying to do too much, because when you're laying the pieces on top of each other, they don't tend to sit real well. So you have to try to keep it straight as you go along. So, you know, so I try not to do too heavy of a stack job, as they say.
Well, I've learned a lesson, even just doing this with this mold. I don't think the silicone mold, I bought it from Amazon, but it's slightly unlevel on the base, which means to me that it hasn't been able to hold the amount of resin in there perfectly flat. So I'm not happy with that for this mold, because it cost me like 20 quid. So I'm going to be sending that mold back and saying, look, I want one that keeps it perfectly straight and getting a stronger mold or getting a casing around it.
Yeah. Like I said, I've got several coaster molds or whatever that I will prop up pieces of wood, you know, to keep it from from laying down, so it's more straight. The coffins that I have, that I bought several molds from Temu, they're not real strong, but I will put them up against a book or a board or something like that, so it doesn't cave. So the sides are perfectly straight. Yeah,
I think one thing is, until you start getting into the flowers, though, you don't realize how much the silica sand costs. Oh, that's expensive.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I bought 4 kilos, and I think it was something like £40 off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like I said, that seems like that's getting into a little bit more, because silica sand kind of sounds like resin. You don't know what you're going to get until you play with it, and
until it's dry.
Until it's dry, and then you can't do anything after that. So, yeah, it's kind of like it's an expensive thing to go down, as they say.
Yeah, well, first thing I did after that as well is I went to the local petrol station and bought a bouquet of flowers to see what real flowers are going to look like in it. So that'll be my next piece. But it's the thing with resin is, when you start playing with it and you start creating things, people naturally come to you and say, can you do this for me as well? So my new girlfriend that I've started going out with, Shelley, I was around her house at the weekend, and her niece went to the beach. And I says, well, I'll tell you what, pick some things up, pick some shells up, things like that. And she came back with this bag with sand in it, some shells and some seaweed, and said that she's got a school project to make it into homework. So I'm going to try and make that into a beach coaster for her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I think that's where I think resin's magical to me, because if you encapsulate things in it, you will always remember those memories as well. And I think that's what's so special. It just preserves that memory for longer.
Yeah, and it doesn't die, doesn't break, doesn't, you know, it will be forever.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. I've not had a piece of resin for longer than 2 years. So I'll tell you in 10 years if it still looks good, but it should do. I've seen some tests on YouTube where people have looked at it like 10 years between, and they still look perfect.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, and resin is changing every day, and so the brands and the formulas and things like that, it's gonna get to where it will last almost eternity, I think.
Yeah, and I think resins have got better as well. I think that's what I think, and it's like, I mean, there's so many different types of resin as well now, Before there was maybe five different types when I first looked at resins.
Yeah.
And now there must be 20 different types from 20 different sort of brands as well. Each one of them is slightly different.
Yeah, but I'm because I can't afford a whole lot of machines, so I'm trying to find something that would, you know, like the resin that doesn't bubble. But, you know, you're always going to have bubbles or something like that. So, you know,
I think the deep pours are the best ones for not bubbling.
Yeah, but like you said, I kind of like the instant gratification. I want to see what I'm getting right as soon as I can. So sometimes those 2 days isn't going to happen.
No, and I'm doing a layered piece at the minute, which I'm not going to show you because it's nowhere near done, and I think it's going to be a 2-week project. But I'm actually creating a universe in layers. And I'm so impatient, so I can't just wait 2 or 3 days between pours. So I've managed to get some of the fast cure resin from Apex, and the thing I love about it is this stuff cures in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So let's say I need 6 layers, I could still do it all in 12 hours.
Yeah. So I didn't start out. I started out with Liquitex or something like that. It was a 2 hour. It was a 1 hour cure. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was one I got at Hobby Lobby because I was impatient to try to order it online. So they had it, but it was like an hour. But you have less than 30 seconds to stir it, and another 30 seconds to pour it. And so,
wow,
you know,
is that like a polyurethane one?
Yeah, it's kind of like a polyurethane. Yeah, it's like a polyurethane one.
I've not tried those yet, but again, I love the idea of the speed. But again, I've seen a couple of videos just related to Apex. They've done one called Quantum, and it's meant to be for tumblers. And again, that's meant to cure in an hour. But my brain, whenever I hear about something like that, it's like, oh, actually, I bet you there's other things we can do with that. Not just tumblers, and actually what we can create with it. And I think that's where I can't wait to get my hands on some of that. Whenever there's a new product that I see, I want to try it and see what we can do. And I think that's another great thing with resin. There's so many new products every week.
Oh yeah, I'd like to try some of that stuff too. But like I said, I'm just getting started. But I'm biding my time. I'm sure there'll be a time in the future. So,
well, that's the thing. You just got to keep going. And you know what? When I first started this channel, I think I was mainly doing Petri. Weirdly, I got inspired by Daniel Cooper, and I think my first 4 or 5 videos were Petri effect, and I was just amazed that it was working. And I at that point I didn't know what I was doing, but it worked. And I go back to those pieces now; they look better than my Petris now, sort of a year and a half, 2 years on, and I'm like, I don't understand why, but the resin just moved better for me back then.
I get into a comfort zone. I get real comfortable a lot. And so I don't like to get outside that comfort zone. So I'm, like I said, I want to try the Petri and all that, the stuff, but I'm so into my mixed media right now. I have a problem of trying to let go of that and to learn something new. So it's going to be an interesting journey.
So I'm just going to give everybody in chat right now a bit of a 10-minute warning because we're approaching the hour mark. So if you've got any questions that you've not asked, make sure you put them in caps lock so that we don't miss them. Sorry, Jacob, if you're watching this back, I meant to say bye. I didn't see you go, so apologies for that. But again, Butch, we've got 40 in right now, so it shows you've got some fans out there. I tell you.
I'm like I said, I'm glad you didn't say anything up until now because that. I'm like I said, I'm amazed, and like I said, guys, I'm so humbled about all the comments y'all have made today. I just don't know what to think about this. Y'all have inspired me, and I'm gonna,
be proud of it. Use it to keep going, and keep growing.
I'm going to, and but like I said, I'm just amazed at the reception.
And I think what will be amazing is coming back in a year. So one of the things I want to do with these lives is anybody that's been on one, I want to invite them back in 12 months' time and see where their channel is at that point. And I think that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, that will be fabulous.
just to see that growth and see how things have potentially changed. You know, you might be doing it full time in a year. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I would love to.
You're going to get Amy modeling all your jewelry. Then she's going to buy it all, and that's going to fund you doing it full time.
There you go.
go.
I just need a sugar daddy, or some whatever I can find.
Nikki's asking as well, if it's not been asked, which I don't think it has, what's your all-time favorite thing to make, and what things don't you like to make?
Well, like I said, I love skulls. I love dragons. I really haven't found anything that I don't like to make. I'm trying to get into this froggy thing that everybody's all excited about, and
Froggy Fridays.
I've been looking at frog molds. I just, for some reason, froggies just, I don't know, but I'm probably gonna give a Froggy Friday a try. But
they're great fun, the Froggy Fridays.
Yeah, so like I said, there's nothing that I haven't really found that I don't like to do yet, but I'm sure if I stay long enough, there might be something.
Yeah. Laura's asking as well, you said that you're from Texas. Do you still live in Texas?
No, actually, I live in Tennessee right now. I live in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, the land of Dolly Parton, if you can believe that.
Wow. Okay.
So I live in the Smoky Mountains. I have a three-level cabin not in the mountains, but I've got I live in a community, but yeah. It's wonderful here. The people are sweet. The people are really nice. And so
that's what you want. Good neighbors, good scenery.
Yeah, that's it. And you can't, it's kind of hot right now. So it's not too comfortable, but overall but the wintertime is the best time with the Christmas time, the fall, the colors up here is just amazing.
I can imagine. So Susie's asking, what's your favorite resin piece, and could you, if you got one that you could show? I think we did a bit of this earlier, but let's do it again.
Earlier, but I'll show it again. This is my new favorite piece.
Yeah. It's like a steampunk skull, isn't it?
Yeah, I like, and steampunk is kind of like the style I like to is another kind of like the way I like to look at my stuff is steampunkish. I like the gears. You can do so much with steampunk.
Yeah.
And so, it's a very versatile thing. So, but this is my newest favorite piece.
It's lovely. It's a lovely piece. It's huge as well.
Miss Petra, this, as a matter of fact, this piece, I just finished it today, to be honest with you. So that's
answered that one.
So this is the one that I just finished. So where I'm going to go from here, I got no clue.
I'll show you the piece I'm working on at the minute as well, shall I? Let's. I'm not going to show you too much, but to give you an idea, this is going to be the size of the universe.
Oh wow!
Going to be a nice big mold.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be nice.
Hopefully, I need to get my galaxy effect working properly in it. And then I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek of something else, just because Nikki's in the chat at the minute. And I know that she will love this because she gives me a lot of stick about not necessarily being a fan of this particular program. But what mold do you think that is?
Not for sure. That looks like the dragon head.
Okay. Any other guesses? Nikki, I'm looking at you here. What mold do you think this one is? Oh, let's see if she answers. Your Christmas pictures were amazing. No, okay, well, I don't think she's answered just yet, but I might do a bit of an unmolding of this in a second, and I can show you what it is.
Yeah, Miss Lula, I did finish the goblet. Here it is.
Wow. I saw that on that's your latest video, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the no, this is a short.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a video of this one. Sometimes I don't like to video something as if I'm not sure about it. So this one I did as an experiment. So I know kind of what I need to do with it. So I'm going to make a video, but this is the goblet that I did. And
Yeah,
on the inside, there's a specter.
Oh, wow.
And then on the inside, I just have some stenciling or some, things on the inside, but I use it as a candle holder, or, put in, you can put in a tea light, and it doesn't show through, but you can see the inside really, really pretty.
That's gorgeous.
That's the goblet I did.
I'll show you one more piece that I did this week, actually. I forgot about it. But I don't know if it's going to show you properly on camera. This is like one of those fish bag molds.
Okay, that's what I wanted to find out. You said you got that from Into Resin. I was trying to figure out what the name of it was, because I want that.
I think they call it a lucky bag mold or a fish bag mold.
Lucky, okay. I'll have to look at that. But I want that one because I saw Lula's video with she did Sonic in it.
Yeah, and, she did a trolling one as well, I think.
And so I'd like to get that mold because I really want to.
It's amazing. It's amazing little mold. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it when it came through, because it was actually a happy mail from Terry Ryan, who's a member. And she sent me that from Into Resin. I was like, what am I going to do with it? I don't just want to put a fish in it because that's obvious. Yeah. So I put the seahorses in it, and it worked really well. And I have that on a light stand, and it all lights up.
But yeah, I want that one. So I'm gonna have to go on and look that.
Here we go. Mask of Invincible. Do you like medieval style?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that one myself. I like Merlin. I like so that could go steampunkish too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll definitely.
Nikki's saying you can get that mold on Temu as well. So
yeah, I found it on the UK Temu, but I have not found it on the
US one.
On the US one, because Lula sent me the link for Temu, but it was the UK one, and I can't seem to find it on the state one.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know if there's a different link for this states one, but if anyone's got it, send it to Butch so he's got it. But I promised I'm going to do. You were all right in chat, by the way. This is a Millennium Falcon mold from Star Wars.
Wow.
And I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let me just grab something. Where is it? So I just had a play. I had some spare resin, and I just wanted to see what the mold actually came out like. And it was black resin. And I know the Falcon typically is white, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's quite a good little detailed mold, I think. I put some glow powders on it, and I don't know if they will glow. They are glowing here, and they actually look really cool. So in a way, that's worked. I'm going to try and put that in a resin piece and see if I keep that glow, but I'm probably going to do it again in white.
He said that would be good, and that would be good in a. Heck, I don't know how wide that bag mold is, but that might be good to put in that bag mold.
Yeah, I don't think it'd quite fit.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit bigger than
But I'm thinking with this of doing like a river table effect with some wood either side, and then the Millennium Falcon just flying through.
Mm-hmm. That would be a nice table.
Amy, can you have it? Okay. Well, so are you going to model it for us, Amy, on a chain or something? I think it would work, That's a pendant. Quite a big one, but it would work. Oh, my God. No, not white. I thought the Millennium Falcon was white, not black. Do you know, Butch? Have you watched Star Wars lately?
It's kind of I would say it's more of a gray. It's not totally black, but not totally white, but it's kind of a grayish from what I understand.
Silver, apparently.
Well, like I said,
I'm going to have to watch it again now, and I've not watched it for about 20 years.
You're right. I know I was there in 78 when it first came out.
Wow.
So
I would have been -4 then.
I graduated high school in 78, so
wow. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll be 66 in September.
Well, you're doing great for your age.
Well, my mother, I like to say I have good genes. My mother was amazing, and so I think I have good genes.
Well, I think that makes a big difference. But oh, here we go. So here's the expert: off-white with black details, mostly grey.
Yeah. So
okay. Well, I might get some proper paints then and actually paint one for that piece because I want it to be special. But yeah, do you know what though? The mold cost me, I think it was £2 on Temu. Didn't cost a lot, and I think it's pretty detailed for that price. So,
especially I mean, you know, because Temu's gotten so expensive since all these tariffs and all that good stuff. So
I think it's more expensive for you guys in the States at the minute because of all those tariffs. So I know what you're saying, but don't get me wrong. I only order big orders from Temu, and the reason why is they always send us those silly promotions like crack the golden egg and stuff like that. And I thought they were a scam until a couple of weeks ago, and I actually tried one. So basically, the way they work, you've got to have. They start you off with 180 points normally, and you've got to get 200 points to get £150 cash back. Yeah. And I did the math, and it would cost me £200. So it's a big order. But I'd get £150 cash back. And I thought this has got to be a scam because they can't make any money. And I did it, and I got £150 cash back. So I got £200 UK worth of molds, and I only ended up paying 50.
Yeah. Well, they've got something that fully reimbursed. The States has something that's, you know, you can get your order fully reimbursed, and then your next order's free, and you know, so. But I'm like you. Sometimes I get real leery about stuff like that.
Yeah, and I've got a. I always like looking at things that aren't meant for resin, and seeing if I can use them in resin. So I got this giant out. I thought it was going to be a typical Temu thing. I'd buy it, and it'd be that size. But it's not. I got a giant cement mold.
Oh wow!
And that's meant to be to make like patio slabs in the garden.
I was gonna say, how many gallons of resin do you need for that?
I hate to think, but I'm not going to fill it all the way. That's for sure. But you know what? If I get a few fails, I might just keep on stacking them in there until it's full. Right. Apparently, Amazon's got the fish bag molds for $10 as well.
I was looking for my notebook so I can write this down so I don't forget.
I'll leave it on screen, but Crafting with Carla's put Amazon's got 2 fish bag molds for $10. They call it a lucky bag resin mold.
Mold, yeah. Lucky bag resin. Like I said, this community is amazing.
Did you get that on the notebook?
I got it. Yep, I got it.
So any other questions from anyone, for me, for Butch, whatever you want to ask, now's your sort of 5-minute warning before we close everything out. Butch, have you got any questions?
No, I'm just amazed I was able to talk for an hour.
No, you did great. You know, it's great getting you on.
Because like I said, I don't have that much to offer, you know, as far as videos and stuff. And like I said, I'm just amazed. So, you know, I was amazed that I could even talk for an hour. So I appreciate the time, guys. I really did.
No, we appreciate you. And obviously this is going to go in the Q&A playlist as well. So if ever you want to, people say, well, what do you really like, Butch? Say, go back and watch my live. You'll get to know me.
Right.
You know, and I think it's been great.
So like I said, you guys are amazing, and y'all have lit the fire, as they say. So there's no telling where I'm going to go from here.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we've lit the fire and inspired. But Susie, just to answer your question, I need to finish the galaxy before I can reveal it. So it's probably going to take me, I think, with what projects I've got planned, it's going to be about 2 weeks before that's done. But as soon as it's done, I guarantee you, I'll show you on a live before the video goes out. Marva's here as well, saying hi to
Marva.
you.
Nice to see you. Better late than never.
I'm sure she'll go back and watch it all.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just excited about this whole experience has been just nothing but amazing, and I can't say how much.
Well, Nikki's saying she's going to go back and watch this in full as well tomorrow. I think that's what you find with these lives is not everybody can make it when we do them, but hopefully they can watch it when it suits them as well at a later point.
Yep.
Okay, so Laura's also mentioning, because she got to 1,000 subs, she's going to be doing a giveaway. So on her channel, I think on July the 1st, she's going to do a video. And then I'm going to get her on a special live, because she wanted to do it on this channel, to do that giveaway. And again, well done, Laura, on getting 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, so that's what I'd like to dream of in the future.
But you're going to get there, promise. People are going to come back, they're going to watch this, and they're going to go, wow, I need to watch this guy. Try and be consistent with it, though. Try and do one video a week or one a fortnight, and you will get there, I promise.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely we'll definitely do that.
So, yeah, give you last chance then. Give your channel another shout out before we close it out, Butch.
Well, Butch's Resin Creations. And I'm also Butch's Resin Creations on TikTok and Instagram. So hop over and see what you can find. Like I said, I'm just getting there. So just hang in there and we'll make this trip together.
You're going to grow 100%. So if you haven't already and you're watching this back, go and subscribe to @Butch's Resin Creations. And if you don't subscribe to me as well, please subscribe. And all of these lives are in a playlist as well. So follow all of the artists, show your support. Let's all keep growing together. And I just want to say as well, massive thank you to the new sponsors as well. Apex Resin, you guys are amazing as well. I love playing with your resins. And just so anybody watching this back, because I know we've got a following in the States as well, and a few people have asked me, do they ship to the States? The answer is yes, and they do a flat rate shipping of $30, which I don't think is too bad to get to the States.
No, not, and especially as heavy as resin can be, and you know, if especially the, you know, so the $30 is definitely good.
Well, again, if you're thinking, what I would do is get a bulk order at once, and then you stocked up, but you're only paying that one lot of shipping. And again, to save yourself some money, if you want to, use my discount code as well, CCUK, and that will get you money off as well, which hopefully will cover that shipping.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a great resin, so make sure you try it. And thank you, Apex, if you watch this back as well, for supporting us and the community. I'm proud to be working with you. And I can't wait to see where we all grow together. So
yes, thank you, Apex, very much for that.
And thank you, Butch. And it's been great meeting you finally. I know we've spoken in Discord a lot, and we have a few laughs about certain gifts and things like that that go in there. But it's been great to finally meet you, get to know you as an artist, and thank you everybody in chat as well.
Thank you,
we'll see you the same time next week.
Thank you, guys. It's been fun. I appreciate it.
See you later.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.